know with PRN, you can work 4-hour shifts, you can work 8-hour shifts, you can work 12-hour shifts, or you can work 16-hour shifts. If you don't agree with those, you need to speak your mind up and you need to get HR involved, because your managers at the hospital will most definitely get HR involved when it's involving you, baby. Managers are very messy. Hey babies, it's your girl Christina, and today you guys, as y'all can see by the title, y'all already know what we're gonna be doing, what we're gonna be discussing. Basically, how to become a PCT is what the title says, you guys. And the reason I call it PCT because Nurse A and PCT are kind of different, but mostly the same now that I have a better understanding of what each one is and what basically you can do as a PCT and what you can't do as a Nurse A. So basically in this video, we're going to be going over 4 things, okay? 1, what's the difference between a PCT and a Nurse A? 2, the requirements. How are you going to be able to become a PCT or a Nurse A? 3, jobs that's available to you as a PCT or a Nurse A. 4, just any other information or tips that I think you need to know to start your PCT or a Nurse A job. 1, what's a PCT and or a Nurse A? So basically, a PCT is a patient care technician, and basically a patient care technician can do secretary things that Nurse A's can't. So basically a secretary is people that they take orders, they work with the doctors, know how to put things in the charts and communicate with doctors, communicate with nurses, fax things out to other facilities that facilitate with the hospital. So they do different things. I'm not 100% sure exactly what secretaries do because that's not my profession. So I have never been trained as a secretary. And as a Nurse A, you just do direct patient care or be a patient sitter, whereas a patient care technician does secretary and bedside as a CNA. So that's basically the difference as a PCT1 and the NA1. So as a PCT2 and a NA2 basically do the same, except for a PC2 can draw blood with the class. I think, if I'm not mistaken, NA2s cannot do that. Also, NA2s and PC2s can also insert Foleys, take out IVs, and do some more things they qualify for versus the NA1s and the PCT1s as well. And also, the pay for a PCT is a little higher versus a CNA pay that's kind of down here. So that's basically the difference between a PCT and a Nurse A. What are the requirements to become a PCT and or an NA? With an NA, with the Certified Nursing Assistant, right, we just basically need to take the class or whatever. With a PCT though, all you need is a PCT certification and or a Certified Nursing Assistant certification. So either or is, acceptable. Jobs. Nursing home is basically Nurse A's, you know what I'm saying? Boom. Hospital, Nurse A's, you know what I'm saying? And PCTs is strictly for hospital. I've never seen the position PCT at a nursing home. And don't get me wrong, don't get me lying, but I just don't think you could be a PCT working at a nursing home. I don't think so. They're called Nurse A's there. So, yeah. If you are a PCT, this is a plus with a PCT. With a PCT, you can actually work at secretary jobs once you get that secretary experience. You can do full-on secretary at a hospital. You can do secretary jobs at like a business office or anywhere else that involves you sitting in office and charging a computer, other than healthcare. So that's where the secretary part comes in, because you have experience in that job position. So that's another thing with a PCT versus an NA1, which you won't have that experience and you can't work at a secretary. It'd be harder for you to get into a job like that just because you don't have that background experience, that knowledge. So that's another tip with the PCTs. And then, of course, other information that I think y'all should know. So, okay. 1, When you're picking a job, right, either you go to a nursing home or hospital, please, please, please do your research on the facility that you choose to go to. Like, you really need to know the rules there. I mean, even though it's going to go into details about orientation, you need to make sure that you know the rules there. You need to make sure you know if it's a drive, how far it's going to be from your house. You need to know all the common sense stuff. You need to know if that's a family-friendly job. You need to know if it's any mess going around, because trust and believe, managers are very messy. And I'm saying that from my own experience. And it's very important when you actually get the job that you cover yourself and make sure that you write everything down, every meeting, what was said. And if you need to bring a a tape recorder or something to record on your phone, so that way if anybody try to switch up anything on you, you got the proof right there. Because sometimes I do that when I go to meetings with my managers and I know they on some BS, especially with my last facility. I recorded that junk. I recorded it. Once I caught on to they was on BS all the time. So you have a right to record. So if you feel like your manager's on BS, record it and report it to HR. That's another thing, because managers in the hospital, they are so big on accountability. So they'll make you accountable for things that you didn't even do. And once again, learn by experience. So that's another thing that I just want to let y'all know. Make sure you take accountability when accountability needs to be taken. But if it don't need to be taken, it's not your fault. Don't take accountability for nothing. And also write-ups. Don't be signing on write-ups if you don't agree with them. If you know for a fact you don't, if you know for a fact, I don't know how to put it, but if you don't agree with those, I'm sorry, but if you don't agree with those, ignore that. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you don't agree with those, you need to speak your mind up, and you need to get HR involved, because your managers at the hospital will most definitely get HR involved when it's involving you, baby. So if you feel like, but yeah, as I was saying before, basically, all in the case of a nutshell, if you don't agree with something, just report it to HR. Have a conversation with them about it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's in your gut, like, that's wrong. That can't be a policy. Take it to HR, because your managers are probably not on your team and they don't really treat you as a family. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, so you really have to realize that and understand that even at a hospital, people are not your friend. People will lie on you and get you fired. So sometimes you gotta hold your tongue, bite your tongue sometimes, because it will save you from a lot of trouble. And that's all I have to say about management in my little other part. So management is a big thing, That's something that I learned with experience. And I just want to let y'all know, all of my future PCTs and or CNAs know that. What else do I want to tell y'all? What else I want to tell y'all? I want to tell y'all shift breakdown as well. So your shifts are for a part-time or full-time position will automatically be 12-hour shifts, okay? That will automatically be your 12-hour shifts. From my hospital that I've previously worked at, and my current hospital that I work at, is full-time is 3 12-hour shifts and part-time is 2 12-hour shifts. But they also are very flexible. The hospital is a very flexible facility that even has positions such as PRN, which you work when you want to work. You know what I'm saying? It's very flexible to the point you can just work when you want to work. And my opinion, I feel like PRN is better, because like I can be off today, right? Like right now, if I want to work, come in tonight at 11 and it's 8:38, I can do that. 11 to 7, so 11 p to 7 a. I can do that, like literally, like right now. If I wanted to work right now, I could do that. If I wanted to work tomorrow, I can call them. Hey, I have an open shift for an evening shift. They're like, yeah, we got an evening shift. You can come in, especially if you're in like a floating pool, whatever they call it at your facility, a float pool. You'll be able to float all over the hospital, and you just won't be assigned to one floor, which I honestly think that's better too, especially if you're okay with change and if you're okay with not being on the same unit all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's another big thing, shifts. And then also how many hours you want to work, what days you want to work, especially like if you have another job or if you're in school or anything of that matter. You know, you have kids, but you still need to be flexible enough to make your coins, you know. You know what I'm saying? So PRN is most definitely a go-to position, PRN, but PRN do not get benefits, and they also don't get PTO, like full-time and part-time. And that's at certain hospitals. I can't speak for everybody, but I do know that's for certain hospitals. Certain hospitals, PRN people don't have to work holidays. Certain hospitals, PRN people do have to work holidays. They at least have to work one major, one minor, such as Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, I don't know if that's one, Halloween, Easter, your 4th of July, Juneteenth. You have to at least work one as PRN. And then as far as full-time and part-time, 2-2-3-3. I don't know exactly how that works, but it works somewhere like that. I'm just not completely sure when it comes down to part-time and full-time. And yeah, so also that's another thing. Make sure you look into your policies. Make sure you read that policy book when you get that job, because that's very important. That tells you everything you need to know about the hospital. That's what I mean by, you know, other than you doing outside research. When you get the job, do your research. Read the stuff they give you, because if you just take it and not read it, it's not absolutely useful, and it was really no point of you even getting that type of information if you're just not going to read it if they give it to you. That was basically like a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? So just read the stuff that they're giving you, so that way you're known of all the policies, all the rules, the dress code, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. You need to know those things, so that way you won't get written up for it. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you're reading your policies. Also, at your interview, I want to go over this too, because you'll be surprised how people come up to their interviews. When you get an interview, dress nice. Dress in either scrub wear, or even put on a skirt and a nice dressy top, like business casual or business clothes. Don't wear no jeans to no interview, especially not with healthcare. That's unacceptable, and most likely you're not going to get the job. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure you look presentable in an interview, because you want to make a good first impression to your managers and to HR, especially if you're meeting with HR. Like my ex-hospital, right? I met with the managers. I didn't touch HR. And honestly, my last hospital, they did an interview over the phone. That's the first, but the current hospital I'm at, I had to come in for an interview. I met with HR first, and HR took me back to my managers, you know? So like I said, each hospital is different. So, yeah. And I don't want to cover everything in this video, because I most definitely want to do more parts to these videos. So I'm just going to cover one more thing, which is travel tech or travel CNA. Honey, if you're not scary like I am, travel. Because travel CNA, travel tech is where the money is. And we'll get into details with travel in my next video. I don't want to make this video too long. I don't want to be talking too much. But if y'all want to see part 3 about travel CNAs and all the pros and cons with that, how you can get an agency and all of that good information, be sure to leave a comment down below, smash that subscribe button, turn on all post notifications, and make sure you leave a comment. I love reading you guys' comments, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. So without further ado, I'm going to see you guys next Monday, because I post every Monday at what time? 8 a.m. So I will see you guys then.